What's up, everybody? We're gonna pop together some easy to assemble models here, and we're gonna talk the Harlequin previews. I'm getting together a model I should have gotten together because my list actually uses these. Blight Launcher guy. So the Harlequin previews, I think the first one's called Chegarak's Jest, and that's frankly the only one that I remember. So Chegarak's Jest being, I have been slacking on my hobby. Chegarak's Jest being the only one that I remember. I will have to look up the rest of these. And that one is when they fall back, you shoot them with pistols. Oh, I know what the other one's called too. It's called Isha's Weeping. It costs 1 CP for Chegarak's Jest. And Isha's Weeping is whenever you take wounds, whenever you remove a model, you add to an invuln save on a unit up to a 3-up invul save. So, yeah. That's very interesting, actually, those two. Because, like, it has to be, I think, earlier in that phase and the rest of the turn. And, at the end, I think, at the end of the turn, it fades. So, it's a fairly interesting thing that, like, was really handy for the model that's going to be shot and charged. Or, you know, I guess if you're fighting Tau in Overwatch, maybe? I don't know. They seem to be handy under the right circumstances, right? And yeah, with the falling back and shoot for one, not you fall back and shoot, whatever they fall back, you get a shooting phase for one. Is pretty tasty. The invuln save is pretty tasty, so you know maybe you've invulned and they don't like it, but these are just previews. The next one, they're situationally useful. They're tasty, but situationally useful, right? Shrieking. Then there's Hero's Path, which is 2 CP, which allows you to jump a Death Jester, a Solitaire, and a Shadow Seer. So, like, basically 3 characters. I forgot to put his head in. Lulz. The thing is, I can't comment on that because I don't know enough about what these characters do to comment on but yeah, the idea is hopefully those are good creatures, and if you jump with what looks like just really to jump and function, it is a massive, could be a massive advantage in battle. But I don't know how good Death Jesters are, and I don't know how good Shadow Seer, whatever the hell the rest of those are, the other 3 characters. But, you know, it does allow you to move characters. Like, you can probably relocate something very critical, like, oh, my Warlord, and he's over here now. Cool. And I don't think they have to deploy within a certain distance of each other. I know where that is at. We'll just get that in a minute. I think they just have to, like, deploy, right? So, like, you could spread them out and prevent some HQ killing wipes. And, yeah, pretty good. The Warlord traits are the one I found the most interesting. Most interesting ones are Sky Strider. If the Warlord is in a flyer transport, he can disembark after it moves. You know, that's pretty good. It's not the best, not the worst. The all right. What's this other one called? Player of Twilight. It seems weird. You can reroll a single hit roll, wound roll, or save roll once per battle. And if you're battle forged, you roll d6 each time your opponent uses a stratagem. And if your stratagem, if it's the same exact cost, if your stratagem, the roll is the same exact cost as the stratagem, you gain that many command points. So yeah, good stuff. Pretty tasty. Yeah, and the other one is reroll charges within 6. Those are all pretty tasty. We'll go over the last couple relics here. Oh, they have psychic spells too. You can get a 6-up, I think. There's the No, you can get the Invuln and the Webway Dance. You get this thing called the Webway Dance, which allows Harlequin units within 6 inches of the Psyker not lose a wound on 6, so you can get a 5-up, 6-up. They also get the -1 to being shot, so you can make a pretty defensive setup unit. I don't know what the dealie for Harlequins are called. And this one is the one I find the most interesting. It's called the Mirror Stave. The Mirror Stave is a 12-inch assault 6, AP -1, damage 1, shot. Then in the melee, it's a AP -1, damage D3. Strength star. The strength is in shooting. Oh yeah, this is exactly how you put models together, guys. I forgot. Actually, we'll do that in a second when I'm not just gonna try to brute force it. Yeah. Yeah. It depends what their weapon or shooting ballistic skill is. The ballistic skill is a oh, I bent that nuts. The ballistic skill is for shooting, so if they have a 3-up ballistic skill, it's a 3-up to wound because it's dependent on what their ballistic skill is. So it's really hard to shoot orcs with this staff because, like, supposedly it shows them their greatest triumphs and all that jazz. So it's like, it's hard to like melee Tau and shoot orcs with this thing because they don't do those well. But like Space Marines, you can fight really well against it because they're 3-up 3-ups. And so when you're in melee combat, you wound on a 3-up, and when you're at range, you wound on a 3-up because the staff is, like I said, dependent on their weapon skill. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The staff, like I said, is it's the relic that I find the most interesting. It could be very useful, it could be not useful. I don't know. I just found it to be what's called intriguing. I like the idea behind it. I like the plans that had develop these things because it's an interesting. It's some people say they don't like this stuff with dice with their Warhammer, but it's a dice game. We're here to chuck some dice. So yeah, I enjoy the variance of the dice, and you know how you can use it effectively and maybe not so effectively, because if you're fighting something that has a dash, it's for a weapon skill or a ballistic skill, it's 6. So maybe you're fighting something that's got like a 3-up dash or a 5-up dash or a 4-up dash, and it's just not that great of a weapon. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Bye bye.